Well, Ruben, obviously the result is a disappointment. Was the performance as well, or did you not see it like that?
No, because we are a big team, and a big team in the certain moments are a big team. And if you look at our 3 goals, we can avoid these goals. Doku with a lot of space surrounding for players. We can be more aggressive. Of course, the ball bounces in this moment, bounces and go to Foden. In the second half, we start really well. And then to suffer that kind of goal in the throw-in, because we want to recover the ball so fast when we have to cover the space and then run to press, we let 2 players 1 against 1. Len is going from outside, is not inside, and then small pass, small run, and he scores. Haaland, and then you have the opportunity to open the game with Brian. Great save from the opponent. All these small details make the difference. So then you can create chances, you can play well, divide the game. But in the end, in these kind of games, with top teams, the small details will make the difference. So the performance is not good when in the important moments they were better than us. So in the end, you don't have that good feeling.
Okay. Bruno joined us for an interview and talked about how City were trying to make it basically 4 against 2 in midfield, 4 of those against your 2 in there. How should you deal with that, and how did you deal with that?
It's the same thing. It's always the same conversation. They put four in the middle. We have 3 center defenders, 2 midfielders. You can see Brian is always inside. Seshko is there, so that conversation is always the same thing. So we play last year the same way, of course with difference because the opponent is playing in the different way against Liverpool, against all these teams in the same way. So it's not the midfielders, because again, if you feel it, what you are going to do in the first goal, what has to do with the amount of midfielders. Doku receives the ball, turn to the defense, and then take 2 guys inside the box. Then the second half, you start really well with 2 midfielders. You are near the box, controlling the game, and then throw in goal. Third goal, you are controlling the game, trying to open the game. Brian has a great opportunity. Ahmad is pushing on the side. We had some distraction. Who is going to the ball? Haaland has all the field to run, so it's not to do with the midfielders.
So, genuine question, and I know you don't agree with the system questions, but do you never have the sense that you just sometimes find yourselves 1 short in midfield and 1 light up top?
No, because it's 3 defenders, then it's 5 midfielders. It's the way you want to see the games. I saw a lot of teams playing here with 5 midfielders just blocking, and they suffer more than us. I see a lot of games from Manchester United playing here with a lot of midfielders. Opportunities sometimes were 1, 2, so it's not about that. And again, sometimes we play with the 3 defenders, 5 defenders, 4 defenders. Sometimes it's 5 midfielders, 2 midfielders. It depends of the game of the opponent.
So how do you feel about where the team is at after seeing that? Because I mean, look, we did an interview a couple of days ago, and so much suggests there's been progress. Then obviously you lose pretty comfortably to your big City rivals. There was the Grimsby result as well, so it's quite hard to make the wood from the trees. Where do you think you're at?
Yes, it is we play against one coach that won 7 Premier Leagues, and we are building things, trying to fight against these teams again. I'm not going to defend myself. It's always the same question, trying to protect myself. We need to do better. But again, if I look to the game, last year we draw and we won against City, and today we were a little bit better in certain things, but in the small details, clearly was not good enough. So I don't know what to tell you about that part of what moment. Is always the same question. We are building things, and then of course we need to win.
So sometimes, I know you find speaking off the game quite difficult because you're often quite emotional. You don't seem like that right now. Do you feel, like when you get down on the players, you get down on yourself, but now you feel a bit happier?
No, it's not happier. It's not happier. I didn't see one player of my team not giving the maximum. Then the rest is with me. what I feel the disappointment sometimes is that I look at my team. I think sometimes I felt that we could run more. I didn't have that feeling. If I have that feeling, I will be okay. Yeah. So I am emotional when I feel that we can do better in effort. When we don't do, it's my fault. It's not their fault, so I will be fine with that. So sometimes I'm emotional, sometimes I just move on and go to the next game. I know that is a step that is a game that is really hard on our fans, and a lot of fans are pundits, and I know that. But again, I cannot point one thing to one player of effort. With game intelligence, a lot of things, yes, we can improve. But that is my fault, and that is my part, so I'll be okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Cheers, Ruben.
Well, it is a high-pressure job. Every defeat is a crisis if you're the Manchester United manager, and he's had plenty in his short period in time. Is there a danger that everybody, we know the headlines are going to be tomorrow, are going to overreact to this?
No, we're just giving our opinions of what we've seen. He said there he's not too angry, he's happy with the effort. But they've lost 3-0 in a derby game. He should be fuming. He should be raging. And he's an emotional guy, but when he's talking about the effort of the players, but I think their decision making, he's talking about moments, but football games are decided by moments. But there always seems to be moments of the opposition and United at this moment in time, and I'm including teams like Grimsby, by the way. So he should be raging. And I like managers who are emotion, but I like my manager to show his anger as well. I just couldn't imagine being in a dressing room after losing a derby game 3-0 and everyone going, yeah, do we all try? Yeah. You got to bring quality. Your decision making. He's on about people not being aggressive, not out of possession when the goals go in. That's when you have to be aggressive. It's called smelling danger when you're a footballer. And we can criticise the system, but is he going to? Is he got to bring Luke Shaw out in the training pitch and tell him how to get down low and defend properly? That's not his job either, to be fair. But obviously, the pressure will be building. They've got Chelsea next week. It's not going to get any easier for this team. And he said he's building something. But while you're building something or you're on a project, you've got to win the odd football match, and they're not winning enough games. So the pressure will just build and build over the next few months.
Is it becoming harder for yourself, for Manchester United fans, to be optimistic about the direction of travel under Ruben Amorim?
Look, I think maybe it's because Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho are sort of like huge, massive personalities in the world of football, and when they came into an interview after the game, they were very spiky at times, so it almost brought anger out maybe in this studio. I don't think there's any anger in this studio at this moment in time, and I don't think there's no ill will towards any manager, but certainly towards Ruben Amorim. I think we all want him to do really well. But there are patterns emerging, and there'll be no Manchester United fan that exists that isn't worried at this moment in time about what's going to happen in this next month. And the one thing I would say about the system, and I'm not going to get bogged down on 3 at the back, 5 at the back, 4 at the back, but when he talks about the 2 in midfield, and Patrick, I thought, asked him 2 really good questions there about the 2 in midfield. I think it's about who the 2 players are, number 1, which obviously United haven't got the right 2 in there, whether that's Casemiro, Gatti, Mainu or Fernandes.
He doesn't have any players that fit this system.
No, he hasn't got the right 4 in there, so that's a big problem for him. So then you would ordinarily say a manager has to adapt until he gets the right players into the club. He's not been able to do it in this first wave of transfers.
Whose decision would that have been, Gary? Because they spent all the money at the top of the pitch, didn't they?
No, but I think they need to fix the top of the pitch. I don't disagree with that, but they spent 200 odd million. We were all surprised United had that much money. But just coming back to the 2 in midfield, there is a pattern. It is a problem. So I know that he said it's not a problem in there because he's got 3 at the back and he's got the 3 in front. He said he mentioned Abermo, Sesko and Diallo. I know exactly what he means, but it is a problem. And
Slot sort of didn't try and change too much when he went in and almost just tried to tweak Jurgen Klopp's system. So
yeah, my worry is...
I think the problem is with the manager and the tactics he's deploying.
But my worry is with the players now, and Bruno's talking there, and is that maybe the players haven't got that much faith in it. So as much as the manager's going, this is where we're going, lads, and at the start you're probably going, yeah, new manager, new ideas, something different. But as the results don't come and you keep getting beaten or you're struggling against the better teams, if the players start doubting this system, and we saw some of the goals are given up today where some are going, some aren't, some are pressing, he's making loads of changes, he's chopping it back with the Maguire at the back, he's bringing Casemiro, and it's like they're going around in circles, this United group. And if the players have lost faith in what the manager's saying, because usually what you want, you're sitting in the dressing room, when the manager says something, you're like, yeah, I'm all in. But if some of the players are now starting to doubt that, I'm not saying they are, but when you see some of the goals they're giving away, you're going, are you all fully on board with this manager going, listen, yeah, whatever you say, we'll do it. We'll run through brick walls for you. I don't quite see it yet. I hope it can change, but we've given the benefit of when he first came in. He didn't want to come in. He said he wanted to come into pre-season, but obviously United said you got to come in. So results weren't great. You go, okay, listen, first pre-season, give me a pre-season, give me my players. And United are throwing money, and if these are brilliant coaches, you go, well, when are you going to coach these players to make them better? Because some of the decision making some of these players are making as well, which you've seen today, is like, it's just all wrong. And then not having the strength. But we see Shaw for the first goal now. Shaw's an international footballer. For him to get caught out like that, you're looking going, do you know, Shaw, I think Shaw's been getting away with murder for years at United. Always injured, never quite fit. We make excuses. Then he gets a few games under his belt. And he's making decisions like he doesn't even want to tackle people. Like, we looked at all the stats in the Derby match there. Not one yellow card. And we're having the big build-up. The Manchester Derby, the weather's, it's raining. It's like set up for a few tackles are flying in. You're getting people. And Man United walk off the pitch. No, I'm sick of repeating myself. You walk up and you go, it's a derby game. How are you physically? You're shattered. You shouldn't be able to get out of bed for a week after a tough game. And they're all walking off and there's not one yellow card.
First time ever in a
But you've got
Manchester
to be
derby.
set up right, though. In terms of Man City's strengths, their strengths in midfield would dominate the game.
But they could have tackled for the goals, Micah.
Yeah, of course. But what's happening is they've got 2 in midfield against Man City's 3 in midfield. How are you supposed to cope with that? And we're talking about Foden, Rodri and Reinders. Who are the best midfielders in European football.
We've all played in games where your midfielder, the system you're up against, they do have an extra midfielder, but you try and compensate with someone. But doesn't mean say you don't
That's
the problem.
System, you've got an extra centre-back.
You've got to, the centre-back has to jump
if
you're going to play.
Which is what Bruno was saying.
Exactly that. But what's happening is they're not jumping at the correct times.
Right, well, you get that. You sort that out with your team. Mm-hmm. That's another new buzzword. Where you jump. Try tackling.
Yeah.
Try hitting somebody. Like the football's a physical game. But we love it.
You have to. I agree with you what you're saying, to be a bit more physical, but you have to be in the right positions. Going out there against these players who can keep the ball for fun, you can't get anywhere near it. And if you've got 5 at the back just holding it, and you've got 2 in midfield running around like headless chickens,
the reason they can't get near,
it's impossible to get.
But the reason they can't
near
get near me is because they're not mobile enough. They're not fast enough. They're not aggressive enough. They're really good in the ball, but if you gave me time in the ball, I'd still be playing. But part of the game is people closing you down, or being aggressive, or hitting you late, make it physically demanding.
I agree, but we talk about systems all the time, but I genuinely believe Man United would be a better team if they played 4-3-3. I do. I think they've got the players for it now. I think this system is hindering them. They don't know what they're doing. When they're on the ball, they're trying to make something happen. The manager's trying to coach them, but it's not working. They're not.
Makes sense. Does that make sense?
The only validation they're getting in this system, in the 3-4-3, is when they switch the play, it looks good.
Correct.
But there's nothing else.
Or a counter attack.
Or a fast break. Fast break buzzword. It's how they are effective. It's how they're effective. They either attack really quickly or they switch the play with the 2. You spoke about the 2 midfielders, right, in front of the back 3. They're so stiff and rigid, and there's no kind of offset shape to them. So, like for the first goal, if Ugarte doesn't jump out level with Bruno Fernandes and he offsets, I don't think that goal happens, the opening goal.
Can we see that goal again? We've got that, because it's so important. I'm sick of having to repeat myself. The players are good enough to what they're showing.
We're scurrying.
They're a lot better than what they're showing.
I don't know, Mike. I'm not sure some of them are.
Okay, well, they're not. I'm
not sure some of them are.
But, okay, I don't know if we can play this slowly. Just run it slowly.
Pause it now.
So pause it now. Pause it now. So you've got 3 of your
around the circle,
around the edge of the.
Yeah, but it's still more danger there, Mike.
You want your centre half, Delict, to come across. That's the first point. Run it on.
Yeah, there's no danger there, Mike. It's back to play.
But hold on. Stop, pause it there. If he's over there, he can deal with Doku. He can stop it at source. That is the problem. Roll it on slower. Now, Doku gets the ball. He's on the half turn.
But look at him.
Luke Shaw, pause it there. Now he's in between the lines. He's beat the midfield line there. Now Shaw can only drop off. Once the ball goes on, this is where I agree with you. Now, this is where Shaw has to be tough and tackle, take off out. That is too easy. So then you get into this position here. They've still got 3 defenders in the box. Okay, you talk about marking. Pause it there. Fernandes in the 2. He's been doing so much work running back and forward. He's thinking, where's the ball? He leaves Foden, run it on slowly there. No organisation. So you've got Euro, Shaw, and Fernandes all late because they don't, which could have been sorted 5 seconds ago.
Look, Michael, look, right, circled here now, but also Haaland. If we just pause it there, Haaland is occupying, well, 3 defenders are occupying Haaland. And everybody knows that maybe you need to have 2 around Haaland.
Correct.
But 3 is crazy. So De Ligt needs to just move across. And Ugarte, the fact that he's stepped out, Foden, Doku and Rodri have created a little triangle in there. And Fernandes doesn't know who to mark. And as this is the most basic pass Rodri will ever play. Because as he steps in Ugarte, it turns in the pocket. And then Foden just recognises in that moment that that's when I can start to attack. Fernandes is ball watching. But
but they're all mistakes.
But he's ball watching.
I know, but these are all mistakes. But we're sitting here as if. But these are all mistakes. The midfielders one pass. Ugarte there. Ahmed, he's got to just tuck in there. Let the ball go wide. I know. Look at Shaw's body language.
Well, he's flat, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's flat.
He doesn't even get down low to say you're going to do well to beat me. He beats him in a yard. And then this last bit, more going, well, if you're a midfielder, you can't let the other midfielder get that side of you. But in fairness to Bruno, that's not his strength. He's very good going forward.
Gary Neville's joined us, and Gary, just by way of introduction for you, we've just been discussing. This is our second look at the goals, actually, because we've been discussing what was at fault today. Was it the system or the way it was deployed? Are Manchester United good enough to play in this way, or should they be just throwing it out? Nice easy one for you to start with.
He's not going to. I mean, when Ruben Amorim first came, I was quite heartened by the fact that he was going to play 3 at the back, because I felt that they didn't have 2 centre backs that were good enough to play in a 4. But every single time I watch Manchester United, he changes the back 3 every single game, which tells you he's not sure about which back 3 he should play. And he doesn't just change the back 3; he changes the back 5. So you either have different wing backs or you have different centre backs. I mean, the amount of times you see De Ligt go over to the right hand side, Maguire coming on. Every single match. So, look, system, no system, there are a lot of individual errors out there today as well. Luke Shaw had one of his worst games that I've seen him have. He's had a pretty decent start to the season, but all 3 goals he could have done better. You've just shown the one there where he was square. On the second goal, he was, he got obviously, done by Haaland, and then on the 3rd goal he leaves it short for Maguire, who then obviously doesn't help himself either by the pass. So, yeah, they just had a really bad day at the back. But it was a bit of a nothing from United. I mean, they had little moments, 15 minutes in the first half at the start, and they had 5 minutes in the second half before City scored. But look, they're 14th in the league. It's only 4 games in, and we all said at the end of last season we can't be getting into October where Manchester United are 14th, 15th in the league, or else the manager will be in trouble. Now there's a few games to go before that, but they have to start winning quickly.
More on this in just a moment. We will get to a break.